What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including, is this a hint that The Rock will be at WrestleMania 41? Roman Reigns leaving WWE? Triple H's PR disaster? What has really happened to Omos? Mariah in talks with WWE? Seth Rollins wants an MMA match with CM Punk, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on Wrestlelamia XL. And now let's see the intro and get straight into our first story. Our first story looks at whether this means that The Rock will be at WrestleMania 41. On top of today's news is a question whether The Rock will appear at WrestleMania as part of the main event between John Cena and WWE Undisputed Champion Cody Rhodes. Now, although The Rock's presence at Mania seemed like a given following John Cena's heel turn Elimination Chamber, fans haven't seen or heard any mention of the final boss. But now WWE may be hinting that it's happening via X, as The Rock has an official X emoji. Yeah, okay, we get it. It doesn't sound like the biggest thing in the world, but it does raise a question why he's even included at all. He doesn't even have a match on the card. He's not even advertised to appear. So why have they done it? Well, in this week's Observer newsletter, The Rock has made it known that he wouldn't be wrestling at WrestleMania 41. However, Johnson and Rep Brad Slater in August, if not earlier, had told WWE that he wasn't doing the planned match with Rhodes due to schedule conflicts, but those in WWE were always under the impression he could change his mind. The Rock's story also discussed how many matches The Rock has left in his WWE contract, noting, Cody Rhodes recently said that Johnson has 2 more wrestling matches on his deal with the company. So do you think The Rock will be appearing at WrestleMania 41? Next up, Roman Reigns leaving WWE? Roman Reigns is a man on a mission, whether it's entertaining fans as his tribal chief character or looking for life after wrestling. Vanity Fair recently interviewed Reigns, with Reigns revealing he's already planning his exit from the grappling game. Reigns told Vanity Fair when his contract expires, "After I finish the contract that I'm in, we'll probably got another year or 2 max. Then it's time to take on a less physical form of entertainment." Now, the article stated that Anoa'i's current deal with WWE expires after WrestleMania next year, and he admits that he's closer to an end than the beginning. While it's no secret that Roman Reigns has eyed Hollywood, he revealed he's had offers and that he has a game plan for when he sets his sights on acting. Anoa'i receives a lot of scripts, but his WWE responsibilities have precluded him from taking many roles. When the time comes for him to fully pursue acting, Anoa'i plans on being selective. "I almost want to model it after Tarantino. We're not just doing anything and everything. I want to really plot out. I want this one. I want that one," Anoa'i says. Do you think Roman will give up wrestling for good when his contract ends, or will he make just occasional appearances, much like John Cena does nowadays? Another interesting takeaway from the Vanity Fair article is a comment from Triple H concerning Roman Reigns' value to WWE, calling Roman the biggest needle mover on the ticket sales side. Hunter noted that the tribal chief is also a big merch mover. Roman's abilities to draw and sell merch makes it likely that WWE will move heaven and earth to keep him around in some capacity before his contract ends. But Roman Reigns thinks this is embarrassing. Another interesting takeaway from the interview was Roman's take on the allegations in the Janelle Grant lawsuit against Vince McMahon, Laurinaitis, and WWE. He mentioned she's got to live with all these situations that happen, and hopefully she's in a place where she feels comfortable and she's secure in her own place. It's embarrassing. That's stuff you don't want to hear about. You don't want your family to hear about. Roman Reigns mentioned that the allegations are a stain on WWE, but he did reveal that Vince McMahon recently contacted him to wish him a happy birthday. But Roman Reigns also revealed why he supports US President Donald Trump. Now, Reigns also mentioned in the interview that he has a strong support for US President Donald Trump, mentioning one person was giving us information, one person was answering questions, so it wasn't that hard. I support our president. Trump is one of those guys where he's got a vast history and a huge background. He's been in entertainment, he's been in big business, politics. At this point, I'm supporting a bright future for our country, positive and competent leadership. For us to be what we're supposed to be a world leader and carry that respect and do what a world power like us should be doing." Next up, Triple H's PR disaster. Now, was a recent wave of criticism towards WWE's lukewarm booking of WrestleMania really getting under Triple H's skin? We recently reported on the game's comments on the Flagrant podcast that the internet criticism doesn't reflect reality. The internet's not real life, right? And the bitching and the complaining that is on there is not real life. Like you can read the internet and it'll sound like this thing is dead. But now WWE's chief content officer is blasting people who watch wrestling to review it, telling Peter Rosenberg, "This will sound offensive. Every critic that is out there, I wish I could tell people f off for being a critic. Be a fan. Go watch this and be a fan. If I tell you go to the movies and watch this movie I saw, it's really good, and you just go to the movie as a fan, you watch it and you have one opinion. But if I tell you, hey, go see this movie, but can you give me a one-page detail what you liked, what you didn't like, if it worked for you or didn't work for you, you watch it totally differently. You watch the product totally differently. Triple H's bad-mouthing of so-called critics comes at a time when fans are beginning to call out his personal shortcomings when it comes to his booking, including his failure to utilize a ridiculous-sized roster, storylines that move at a glacial pace, an inconsistently booked women's division, a failure to push the undercard, a small number of matches on PLEs, and one of the least interesting WrestleMania bills in recent memory. The cerebral assassin benefited from taking over WWE creative after Vince McMahon, whose stock with the WWE fans was at an all-time low. Critics can be harsh, but it's baffling why Triple H is apparently letting them get to him, especially as he airs his grievances during WWE's biggest show of the year. Triple H didn't reserve his fury for pro wrestling critics, as he also targeted old-school pro wrestlers who do podcasts and bemoaned today's lack of protecting kayfabe. That's the challenge. I believe we can tell them these things, but it always makes me laugh in this current day and age when old-timers do podcasts when they're giving out everything away from their generation and then complain about how terrible it is that the younger generation doesn't kayfabe today. But he wasn't finished there. He said, so let me get this straight. You're on a podcast telling everybody all the non-kayfabe stuff, and then you're mad there's no kayfabe anymore? Genius. Some fans have already taken to social media to question whether Triple H's comments are him being ignorant about what some wrestlers turned podcasters actually say on their shows, or if he's just being disingenuous. People defending the old school podcasters have noted that these former wrestlers are discussing the past, whereas today's WWE breaks the fourth wall, such as when WWE built a storyline out of whether John Cena could succeed as a heel, an obvious admission of wrestling's work nature that killed a suspension of disbelief. Triple H has also blurred the lines of kayfabe and reality by mentioning actual wrestling terms on shows, such as the Raw Netflix debut. Critics compared this to an actor commenting on a movie in an interview, as opposed to an actor pausing during a movie to tell the audience it's all make-believe. One user on X mentioned, Triple H fundamentally sucks at being a businessman, because why on earth are you doing all this negative lip work before what's supposed to be your company's biggest event of the year? Ex-user Humble Wrestling also chimed in saying, I don't think people giving their time and money to your product, analyzing shows and critically engaging with it is a very crazy concept. What do you guys think of Triple H's comments? Do you think they're pretty unnecessary? Or does Triple H make a point? Next up, what has really happened to Omos? Why hasn't Omos appeared on WWE television following his highly praised run in Pro Wrestling Noah? According to Fightful Selection Ross Sapp, it's another example of creative not having any plans for him. Omos has been healthy and patiently waiting to be used in WWE. Creative sources confirmed to Fightful Select he's been spending time at the PC. Do you think WWE have dropped the ball with Omos? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Mariah in talks with WWE. Now, there's been plenty of talk about Mariah heading to WWE, with rumors that May's AEW deal ends this summer and that she's WWE bound. But now the Observer is weighing in on this, noting her absence may have something to do with her unconfirmed intent to head to WWE. Tony Khan usually doesn't use wrestlers that he thinks are leaving on television. They also mentioned, we can't confirm the time frame, but can confirm there has been talk in WWE regarding her coming in, with it being known by key people in WWE. The belief is that she wants to come in. Next up, Seth Rollins reveals a big match he'd book. Which match would Seth Rollins book if he was in charge of WWE? While Rollins hasn't made any claim in wanting to book, he knows which match he'd select if he had the authority, telling the Out of Pocket YouTube show he'd book Roman Reigns versus The Rock. I'm sick of everyone talking about it, I just want to get it out of the way, see how much you'll love it when you see it. Now, this dream match has been discussed for years, and while WWE would like to see it happen, it's unknown whether the stars will align to make it a reality. Next up, Seth Rollins wants an MMA match with CM Punk. Could the WWE Universe see the ultimate crossover with the UFC, with two of its top superstars battling it out for real in the octagon? During his appearance on the show, Seth Rollins says that he's ready to settle things for real with in-ring rival CM Punk. Sure, yeah, I would. I mean, I'm not going to just bust into his locker room backstage and start lighting him up, but like, if Dana White wanted to book CM Punk versus Seth Rollins, first, I guess, a non-UFC fighter fight on one of his cards, I'd put on the gloves and give it a go. A Seth's subtle reminder of Punk's alleged backstage dust-up with the Young Bucks after 2022's All-In was another example of Rollins referencing real-world situations involving Punk, someone he claims to despise in and out of the ring. But as for the fight, Seth suggested, it might be the only one I do, but yeah, I would. You put me in there with like any of the other guys in my weight class, oh, I'm out. Dana, you want to make some money? Book it, brother. Just give us a few months. Give me a few months. Give me a training camp, but I feel like I could handle myself. While Rollins vs Punk in the Octagon would likely be big business, it's doubtful TKO Group Holdings wants to risk one or both of its premier talents getting interested or their status as pro wrestlers tainting the legitimacy of UFC. What do you guys think? Should Punk and Rollins fight in the Octagon? And finally, did Dynamite break TV records? And last but not least, did AEW Dynamite's 16th April episode break the record for the longest running wrestling show on the Turner networks? Well, not too far back, AEW announcer Tony Schiavone, who also called the action for WCW during its lengthy run on TBS and TNT, proclaimed AEW Dynamite's spring breakthrough in Boston will be the episode where Dynamite becomes the longest running weekly wrestling show on the Turner networks. However, like any record, people and news sites are questioning its validity, including Ringside News, which argues WCW Saturday Night still holds that record. But there's one problem. WCW Saturday Night aired 785 episodes on TBS from April 4th, 92 to August 19th, 2000, nearly triple the amount of Dynamite episodes. Ringside News based its argument on the claim that WCW Saturday Night did air in primetime, specifically the iconic 5 past 6 p.m. Eastern time slot on Saturday evenings, which became a signature viewing window from wrestling fans through the early 90s. That time slot was considered primetime for cable, especially during the show's peak. What do you guys think? Did they really break the record? Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.